Was a sudden stop.
Yeah, I know. I had to switch up something there real quick, so we'll go ahead and get started with this thing.
Hey, well, all right, no problems. What's going on, everybody? We are back. I want to thank Jeff and Tazzy for doing Impact. The other night, I had to miss it. I had my youngest's graduation. 2 graduations, actually. She graduated distinguished grads on Thursday, and then regular graduation was Friday. So good to be back. And man, we are coming into a big week, especially for Impact, because we have Slammiversary this coming weekend. So for those of you who are Impact fans, and I don't know why you wouldn't be if you're wrestling fans, but for those of you who are Impact fans, big show this coming weekend on, I believe it's Saturday, Jeff, right?
No, I believe it's Sunday.
Or is it Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, the 19th.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So pay-per-view on Sunday, a little different, but we will be right here a little bit earlier, of course, but this time next week to do Slammiversary. So make sure you are psyched, you're ready to go, and you join us for that. And there will be a go-home show, of course, for that this coming Thursday on Impact. So don't miss that either. So big week for you, and we're going to get started with our weekly wrap-up show. It's been a little bit, and we want to get going. We've got a lot of things to cover, and not all that much time to do it in. So welcome to everybody really quickly, of course. Jeff, what's going on, man? How have you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Yeah, it's been crazy. Been crazy, but glad every time we get to do this show, I'm glad we get to do it, because this is the origin of it.
It is. It's our origin story. Like, you see so many of the superhero films out there and TV shows. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, Ms. Marvel was fantastic. Marvel, I have to tip my cap, because I don't know the character as well. I only really know her from, I mean, obviously comics, I really didn't read them, so I only know her really from the video game, the Marvel Avengers game. But it was really amazing. You could just tell that the budget's going up. on these shows.
Mm.
It looks fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, it's really good. And I was off the last 10 days of work. I caught up on a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm all caught up now on a lot of my stuff, and I've been enjoying Tubi, Jeff. Someone introduced me to Tubi,
Yes.
and oh my God, it's literally all the stuff I watched when I was a kid. So it's like I'm watching, I go through the menu. I'm like, oh my God, they have Greatest American Hero. I'm like, oh my God, they have Shazam, Saturday Morning Shazam was on there. I'm like, all of these shows that I watched when I was a young kid, I'm like, this is fantastic. And it's free. So, hey, you can't beat that. All right, let me welcome some people in and we'll get into what everybody's here to listen to. The wrestling stuff. Wes is here. Big Dan is here. What's up, Big Dan? James Grant is here. Hope tomorrow's Raw is good like last week. Well, you're not going to have the Cody and Seth interaction, so obviously Cody is out. Jeff, you know what? Speaking of that, because we really didn't get to talk about that, Jeff, what an amazing performance.
Yes.
That Cody Rhodes put on, and people are looking at that and saying it was one for the history books, and it really was. If you didn't see Hell in a Cell, it was just absolutely insane. And then the next night he comes out, and it kind of looks like Seth's going to make amends, but you can never trust Seth Rollins. And he came out and he did even more damage to Cody. I mean, look at that picture. Just incredible. And sometimes you kind of see this stuff. Well, Jeff, this guy is as over as can possibly be now. And whenever he comes back, whenever, people are kind of saying it could be around Rumble time, he will be welcomed in as the biggest baby face in the company, and could probably go right after Roman if Roman still has both titles by then. But yeah, I mean, what a performance by him. So yeah, we've got to give it up to him. And I know that Jeff didn't. I don't think we had that as our starting thing, but
we did.
Well, there you go. Good. That worked out really well.
Yeah, it works out perfect.
That worked out really well. Let me just go through the rest of the roll call here, and we'll get Jeff's take on Cody. James Grant, Derek Fleming. Hey, Derek. Tazzy is here. I know Tazzy just had his new show. I hope some of you went and caught that first show Tazzy's been able to do for a little bit, so I hope you guys checked it out. Dylan is here. Alicia. Hey, Alicia. We have Sean Rousset. Hey, Sean, how are you? We have James Chadwick is here. Hey, James. We have John L. How are you? Hope you're doing well. We have Dana. Hey, Dana, how are you? We have Mark. Hey, Mark. Who else we got? Let me see if I missed anyone. Dylan, Wes, Alicia, people chatting in the chat. James Grant, Leonard. Hey, Leonard. Cody returns and wins the Rumble. Very possible. Very possible. We have a couple people here from Twitch, I see. All right, cool. All right, Jeff. What more can you say? It was a performance it really was. It was a performance for the ages, and we may never see anything like that again.
I mean, we doing the watch along for this was crazy, because if you were along for the ride with us, then you saw our reactions when we saw him take off that coat. And it was one of those things where it's like he dramatically took it off.
Yep.
And then you hear the gasp of the crowd. Wow. I mean,
it was hard to watch.
What a performance. I went back and watched that match, and just some of the spots in that match, man, where Seth took the kendo stick and he's pressing it right into that pec. I mean, just some of the stuff, just it makes you cringe. But the one thing I'll say is this is what these professionals do. They go out there and they put on these types of performances, injury or not, to make the fans happy. So you just gotta love everything about what Cody did there. And I mean, I hate it because right now he's more over than he's ever been, I believe. And he is the rightful challenger, I believe, to Roman. when he comes back, if Roman still has those titles, I truly believe that he's the person that will take them off.
Yeah.
That's where I think he's headed.
Yeah, it certainly would seem that way. And we all know. I mean, when he first came back to WWE, he of course talked about his story and about why he wants to do that. But and he's going to probably look back at this and think he couldn't have picked a better sparring partner than Seth. And we mentioned that on the show. I don't know that he would have done it. I don't know that he would have done the match had it not be Seth Rollins in the opposing corner. Because you got to remember, Seth, like we were saying, when he was driving that kendo stick into his pec and his shoulder, like Jeff said, you have to have a dance partner that's going to be able to do all that kind of stuff, and you don't have to worry about it. That's the whole key. And so I don't think he would. If this was anybody else, I'm not so sure he would have done it. So that's a big, that's kudos to Seth. And there's a lot of people getting on Seth Rollins, and there's a lot of people getting on the way he's being used because I think they were pointed out that he's only won 2 matches this year and he's lost like 11 now. So he's obviously been losing a lot. So there's a lot of people that aren't all that, the critics and stuff are not all that impressed with that. But listen, I don't think you could have any real bigger compliment than the fact that, this guy wanted to do this match with you now they did say, I think I read it today, that they said there was no possible way he could have gotten any worse or he could have been damaged anymore. And that was one of the reasons why they cleared him, I guess, to do it. But he still had to make the decision, Jeff, to do it. They didn't force him. He still had to make the decision. And I think a lot of that was because of Seth.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to think about this too. This was going to be the finale of what they did, and
Yep.
if we're being honest with ourselves, the matches that they had, the 3 matches in total, were some of the best matches of this year. Period.
I agree.
This one being right up there. Like, I didn't think anything could top the match at WrestleMania. This was right up there, and Cody had one arm essentially.
Yeah.
And went out and did that. So I think he wanted to finish that story with Seth the right way, and I feel like going out there and having this match, staying true to who he is. I feel like that's why he did. That's another reason why he did it. But I mean, the fact everyone talks about the guts and everything, and his courage for going out there and doing this, saying I want to do this match. Everybody talks about that, and that's great because it's true. But the match that he put on, that those two put on, despite the injury, was fantastic.
It was. It absolutely was. You are 100% correct. And again, this is the kind of stuff as wrestling fans you see, and sometimes you take it for granted a little bit. And that's why, Jeff said sometimes you have to go back and watch things again because you get caught in the moment. And I know we do. And when we do watch alongs, it's tough because we can't constantly be paying attention to the actual match. We're looking at comments, we're looking at other things. So sometimes, and even you guys, when you watch it the first time, sometimes it's you have to go back and just check it out again because there may have been stuff there that you didn't get to see because you got caught up in things. And it's like going back and watching parts of a really good movie because you get so caught up and you might miss some stuff. And it was really unbelievable. And like I said, kudos to both of them. Kudos to him for coming out and doing it when he simply could have just said no, and they weren't going to argue with him. But he did it because he wanted to do it for like Jeff said, probably to end the feud on a high note. Also, he probably wanted to do it for the fans so they wouldn't be let down. And, he may have wanted to do it for himself. So it was really, really good. It was just something to see. And hopefully you guys all got to see it if you didn't. And you listen, even if you're a fan of another company and not necessarily a fan of WWE, it's one of those things that people are going to look back at 10, 15 years from now and be like, wow, that was really amazing. So go check it out. Go check it out. Jason Peace. Look at that picture with Shotzi Blackheart. That's really cool. The Swack fan is here. Noob Company is here. What's going on? I think this match will make Cody a legend when it's over. May have even wanted to do it first. Sure. Listen. It's and see, this is why I guess too you look at things and things sometimes just work out for a reason. And yes, he left AEW, but look at what happened. And it's going to be something that's really going to make his career. And I think he was kind of looking for that career making moment because he never got it really in WWE before. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, moving on. What's next, Jeff?
All right, man. Judgment Day betrays Edge.
How about that, huh? I'm going through, and of course, I had no idea. I don't know if there are spoilers out there, but again, I really wasn't on wrestling Twitter all that much during my vacation, so I didn't read much. So I don't know if there's an inkling of it, but I'm watching it on Raw, and I'm looking. But as soon as I think it was Damian Priest, as soon as Damian, or it was either Damian or I think it was Damian who said the only thing keeping us from being however he said it is, and then I turned my head and I looked at Edge and I go, oh, he's gonna say you. And then he said you, and I'm like, yep, there we go. And then they took out Edge. The reasoning comes out now. Of course, they were saying that, well, this is an interesting little tidbit, but they said that it's because they want to make it a supernatural faction. Imagine that. Imagine that. WWE wants to make it a supernatural faction. What? Yeah, okay. Well, listen, if you want a leader of that supernatural faction, I think we can all give a good suggestion who it could be. Obviously, it's Finn Balor now. But listen, it was interesting. It was completely, I don't think a lot of people knew, unless there were spoilers out there, which, like I said, I didn't see. So I don't think a lot of people knew. It was very unexpected. They turned around and they attacked Edge. The whole thing, I think I'm a little confused, though, here with Jeff is this. What do you do now with Edge? I mean, you can keep him off TV for a while now and just have him be gone because it looked like he took a hell of a beating with the concerto and everything else. So you can just have him go away for a little bit. But then you got to start to think to yourself, okay, well, who now is, who are the baby faces going to be that's going to rival this faction? Or, I mean, do you think that they're just going to put him right out there with Liv and AJ? And all of a sudden he shakes hands with AJ and says, okay, I'm on your side now. I think I was talking to somebody on Monday night. I don't remember who it was. It may have been somebody in the chat, but I was talking to somebody on Twitter mentioning that, it would be cool if they did. Now, I know they're not going to do this, but would it be cool if they did? It would be a double cross where Edge is pretending this entire time, goes over to the opponents with Liv and AJ, and then when we get this big, all right, we're going to get this big 3-on-3, Edge turns on him and is like, nah, I never really switched. This was all just playing you. I know they won't do that, but it would be fun to see. But it was unexpected. I didn't see it coming, Jeff. And hey, Finn is a better bad guy in my opinion. He was good in NXT that way, and I think he'll be better in this role. And let's face it, he needs something. The character's been stale, and he needs something going forward. I think it's good.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, you won't hear much argument out of me in terms of what this means for Finn. I'd love to see Edge and Finn just go after it. I'd like to see the mind games between them at this point go after it. But I'd be interested to know people in the chat who they want Edge to go up against next. Um, what would you do now with Edge? Because that is a good question. What do you do?
It really is, because like he was a babyface for the longest time, and then you turned him And some people were saying, it's kind of weird because he was being pushed as a babyface for so long, and now all of a sudden he's this, this guy he wants people to hate. So where do you go? Yeah, I agree. It's a really interesting thing. Like, where do you go with him now? And you're going to turn him right back around and make him a babyface again? So, man, I don't know. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. I wonder where they got that idea from. Just saying. Jason, what happened to Jason? Oh, did I see something about did you see something about his
Yeah, he
job?
said he lost his job.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man. That's horrible. Yeah, we'll be thinking about you. Hope something comes along for you. Listen, I found in my career there's always something better out there for you when that stuff happens. C Wrestling is here. What's up, C? I think Edge will go to AEW. Tony would pay a lot of cash for Edge and Christian versus. Oh, yeah, right. Jeez. I don't even know what his contract status is. I honestly don't know. I don't know what that is or how long they have him signed. So who knows, man? Stranger things have happened. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure they will still go up against AJ and Liv. And if Edge is going to be gone, then you wonder who the third person is on that team. So now that Finn has went over to the other side, but they're going to be a tough faction to deal with. And I mean, Rhea Ripley, I'll tell you what, she certainly could be looked at as the next champion over there as well. She's been on a little bit of a roll now, and she is a threat to Bianca Belair, no doubt. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch as well. So Bonkers is here. What's up, Bonkers? How are you? Larry Bongo is here. Edge gets a glove puppet and forms a faction with Alexa. Oh, man, you guys should be creative. Jeff even being in a ladder match this week is insane and silly. James Chadwick tweeted you something, Jeff, just to let you know. Edge versus Balor at SummerSlam. Yeah, could be. Edge versus Tommaso Ciampa. Can we get Finn and Priest tag team champs? Can we have Edge back together with Randy Orton? I think Orton's going to be off TV for a little while, so I don't know exactly when he's coming back either. All right, moving on. What's next?
Moving on. MJF. In AEW right now. I can tell you how things seem, but Joe, yeah. And we'll talk about this again later in the show, by the way. Just a little bit of a segue.
The whole thing with this, like, and this one, everybody was on different sides of the fence. Some people were saying, yeah, it's real. I mean, look at how he was talking to Tony, and now he's not on the roster anymore. He's been taken off the roster and things of that. I can't, and I never could from the start think that they were going to let him walk. They're seeing right now the stuff that Cody's doing. Do you think that Tony would want to see his number one heel crossing over to WWE? I don't. So I'm pretty sure this is a work, and they're doing all the things to make it look like a work. I even said in a tweet watching it that it is a reverse Vince and Stone Cold, because the shoes are on the other foot. It's basically the heel wrestler against the face boss in this case, which Tony will play the face and MJF will play the heel, rather than vice versa with Stone Cold and Vince. I think that's what this is going to be. Tony's not going to get in a ring. I would hope not anyway. You never know, but I would hope not. He's certainly, I mean, I'm sorry, but, put Vince and Tony in a ring and Vince could take Tony. So I don't know how they're going to work it. I don't know if Tony is going to get another wrestler to kind of back him. And then they'll have a few. Does he get Wardlow? Does he get on Wardlow's side? But I don't know, because it seems like they're kind of moving past that feud. So I think it's a work. I'm pretty certain it's a work. And but whatever it is, it's a good one. And MJF will make it work because he's just that damn good at doing what he does. And so he'll make it work, however this happens or however it goes through. But it is, I'll tell you, it's must see TV right now. You're not going to miss this kind of stuff, and this attracts viewers, and it will bring people to watch, and that's what they're trying to do. So we'll see where it goes. I'm sure it'll come to a head at their next pay-per-view. And we'll see what they end up doing here. You got the wrestler against the boss, so we'll see. What about you, Jeff? What do you think?
Whatever it is, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Regardless of what it is, I know a lot of people think it's a work, which hey, I'm probably in that camp. But like I said, we'll talk about that later. Um, I think I think that's the point that C raises is a fairly good one. C Wrestling says, I really think the MJF thing will backfire on AEW. I don't think they expected fans to agree with the ex WWE line. Now, what's the payoff? Fire all the ex WWE guys. Um, the one thing I'll say about the stuff that he was saying, and um, I know we have a lot of people that really love AEW, and I have nothing against AEW before I even say this, but um, honestly, a lot of the stuff that he said is stuff that a lot of people have been saying for a while now, and some people feel like that's true. Um, and that's what C's saying there is that you got a lot of people now that are like, you know what, those were facts, those were facts. So what do you do? Um, there are some criticisms of every promotion. Not just AEW, but there are criticisms. But he hit on a couple of them. So maybe that was a big middle finger to the people that are saying those things, which I think could be the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever it is, regardless, I'm loving it because it feels very vintage. There's something that just feels good about seeing a guy come out there and just lay it all out on the line and have the whole mic cut thing and all the stories that are going on swirling around it. So
Yep.
yeah, I love what they're doing.
People called it a pipe bomb afterward. So, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what it was. I the whole thing with like what C mentioned and him saying with that, you can almost kind of, it's going to be weird because you can almost kind of see that it's almost like in a way, if they're doing it this way, it's kind of brilliant because you can almost see that he's kind of taking, all right, let's just put it into a group like where you have your WWE hardcore people, and those are, a lot of them are similar to the AEW hardcore people who they don't watch each other's shows. All right. So, just get it in your mind that these are these two groups. They're not the ones that like wrestling. They're the ones that will just primarily watch one particular show, and that's okay. But it's almost like he's taking the stand, MJF is, of the WWE people who absolutely cannot stand AEW, which is really weird because it's putting him, and like Jeff said, is he doing it because he's throwing up a middle finger at that group? And is he patronizing them by coming out and saying, being almost a vocal person of that, being the vocal leader of that movement, saying, yes, this is what they're doing, and our roster is bloated. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because if he starts commenting comments that a lot of times you see on Twitter or in any other social media form, and he starts like saying verbatim what these fans are saying about his own company, it's going to
Right.
be really, really interesting because the fans are gonna, it's gonna, like the AEW hardcores are gonna hate it. But then you'll have that other group, and then all of a sudden it's almost like he's gonna get those WWE fans to like him It's kind of crazy. It's really a big conundrum when you think
I
about it.
if they if they're doing that, it's brilliant
Yeah, it is.
because it's also another way. I mean, they really think about this. Now, this is conspiracy theory me, out there, but really think about this. What if he's already signed his contract? What if it's already done
Yep.
and they're just leaking out this information that this guy is um that he's disgruntled, that he's not happy with it, that they're just leaking out this information, but already in the background, the deal is done. And I'm not saying I know anything, and I'm not saying that's the case, but just bear with me. But if they do that, and he's already got a deal done, and it's a big middle finger to the people that hate, AEW at this point. It's funny because he's playing them like a fiddle,
Yep.
and and in essence, what they're trying to do is they wanna get other people to see, "Oh my god, is this dude gonna mention WWE again? Let me watch AEW this week to see if he'll bash him again."
Yes, sir.
And now I got another set of eyes on my product that I wouldn't have had I not thought of, had I not done that. So if they're thinking along those lines, kudos to them because it's petty in all the right ways, and I
It,
love it.
it is, and it's very deep. Like
Yeah.
if you have a creative team that's thinking, it's almost like you're thinking in levels.
Mhm.
And if you're thinking past like a certain because listen, y- when if you're thinking that way, yeah, it's I don't know if it's even reverse psychology swag. It kind of is, but you're thinking so many levels ahead of and so many steps ahead of where people would normally think that this was going to go, and then all of a sudden, you all of a sudden you have these people who normally hate the show and they're glued to the television.
Glued to
And
it.
and they're like, and then all of a sudden when this all comes to a head, they're gonna realize like I just watched this show I hated for the
Yep,
past 3 months.
yep.
So yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean, yeah, yeah. And he can certainly, and he's a big enough jerk that he could come out after it's all over and do that. He'd be like, "Yeah, you guys all came and watched me for the past 3 months," and he could say something. Yeah, that's crazy.
It will
That's
be it would be tremendous if that's what
it really would.
if that happened, like, I'd have to you gotta give credit, if that
All Yep. All you can do, Jeff, is tip your cap.
that's
That's
it,
that's all you can do
that's it.
because someone came up with that idea in creative or whoever is doing their stuff backstage, and all you can do is tip your cap and say, "Yep, you got me," and that's all you can do.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. It's listen. I know I'm gonna be. I don't get to see that show as much as I can because I have other commitments and stuff like that. But I have another show that I do on Wednesday, so I don't get to see it as much. I watch it sometimes in repeats and everything like that. But now I'm going to be watching. So yeah. So there you go. It's interesting. Good stuff. All right, man. What is up next?
Alright. Staying with AEW, they added a new, title.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. I only was reading about I was on Bleacher during my lunch and I was reading about it, and I mean I could just tell you what they were saying, and they were saying it's enough's enough. There's just it's just too much. They've got so much going on with stuff with titles that they don't seem like they have the right people in the places of them, and it just like you don't need any more. Yeah, you just I don't know. I let just calm down with the titles. Like I don't know unless the only thing unless you're gonna do stuff where, and I think they really should anyway. The fact that they were doing the ROH stuff or the stuff that they do on Dark and everything like that, unless you're gonna go and have titles up for grabs on some of those other shows, But man, I don't know. I don't think it's at all necessary, and it seems like the chat agrees. I think they already have their too many now the way it is, and listen, it's growing pains, and WWE went through this where they had way too many titles. WCW had it too. Um, you got to learn sometimes from history. And, Tony says he's a historian of wrestling, and I'm sure he is, and he's a fan, but sometimes you think you can do something better than someone else, and I'm going to try it anyway. But this kind of stuff doesn't always work out, and I don't know. I just think to me it's you get a little too much. I think it's getting to be a little too much. What do you think, man?
Oh, I mean, they do have a lot going on. It's like, I think if they had done some things a little bit different with the TNT title, like, I think Derek said it earlier in the chat, need to focus on what they're doing with that title. I
Yeah,
mean, again, it's all about, how what do you want a participation trophy, or do you want to make your titles matter? And I think, if they position this title the right way, they can make this one matter too. But I want to see them come up with a few other things with the TNT title. And then kind of focus on this. But we'll see. I mean, um I know that some people are saying, how in the world is this an all Atlantic title, and Japan and China aren't even on the Atlantic? Like, I,
yep.
um, I like you said, it's growing pains. Um, Sometimes less is more. With certain things, especially championships. Like you said, WWE has gone through that and learned that. Uh, but I mean, you get some fans who they it doesn't matter. They want to see more gold.
Yeah.
Um, I think about WCW back in the day with the international heavyweight championship, and then you had your heavyweight championship, your US title. Um, I'm sure there were other titles. They had the trios title back then. I don't know how many people realize that, but WCW had those belts. So, the 6-man tag belts, then you got your tag team. So it's just a lot. I mean, how much do you want to have? So, yeah.
Like Jeff said, belts are an attraction to get people to watch. Now, unless you make them mean something, then you're not going to have people care that much about them. So, and like you said, that TNT championship's been kind of a mess. Like, I- you know, they seem to have like the same four people around it all the time, but they're not really getting a shot at it. So I don't know if you have the guy who has it drop it, and then maybe get other people involved. But you got, that's the thing, you've got to make them mean something. If not, it's just a decoration. And so make it mean something. And if you do that, okay, some people are saying compare it to the Intercontinental title. Well, and to be fair, the Intercontinental title in WWE was huge back in the day. Huge. Now, today, not so much. So, things change. So yeah, I mean, this is a to be determined, TBD, and bookend this, and let's just see what happens. Let's see what they do with it. Let's see who gets involved with it, and then we'll revisit at a later time and see what's going on. Could this All Atlantic title be AEW's version of an Intercontinental title? Yeah, other people are saying that too. Mark, it could be. It could be. Um, next will be the Meltzer Midwest International House of Pancakes World. Fun fact: every match and segment this week on Dynamite led to a championship ramifications. Every single one.
That
That could,
that says a lot.
yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. Like, who isn't involved in a title chase? Yeah, well, the people on Dark, we know that. Mid-card titles used to mean so much more. Plus, it usually gives them a world championship match. Yeah, it's unfortunate. They did, and like I said, though, even in WWE, hopefully Gunther is. I think he's a good candidate to have that title. Sorry to see Ricochet lose. I'm glad Ricochet got his chance with it, but
Yeah.
it could be interesting to see with Gunther with that. That's probably a good call. And we'll see. You always kind of hope that one person makes the title be theirs and makes it really, really mean something. And so hopefully that's what happens with this. Vincenzo is here. What's going on? All right. What have we got next, Jeff? I think we might be we
Last
moving.
one here.
Yep.
Cardona, Matt Cardona out.
Yeah. So obviously he relinquished. Well, that was an interesting segment on Impact. He gave the title that should be Rich Swan's
Mm-hmm.
to Brian Myers. Now
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting the way it is because Brian Myers isn't in Impact anymore. He kind of said he's just going to work there when he wants and that kind of stuff. We heard about the last we saw of him. So obviously now that Matt is out and going to be out for a while, it looks as if we may see Brian Myers defending a belt he never owned or never won. So he will be defending it against Rich Swann, who rightfully has the title, but he's going to have to take it off of Brian Myers. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting scenario. But listen, whatever, it's a shame. We've had an abundance of injuries of late, an abundance, and a lot of them are veterans, like Matt. You've of course you had Cody, you had Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, you had CM Punk. It just looks as if a lot of these guys that have been around for a while are kind of getting these injuries, and so it's a shame. And what Matt was doing with, of course, the NWA and all those other belts that he had. Obviously now, he's going to have to give them up. So kudos to him. He really made a name for himself and got his name out there and pretty much by means of social media. So it sucks. But hopefully he gets healed up, gets well, comes back even stronger, and we'll see. So it's a shame because he was kind of on top of his game, kind of probably Jeff, probably higher up the chain than he's ever been in his career, with all the belts that he had and with the NWA and stuff. So yeah, it's a shame. It sucks that we're seeing all these great people going down these last few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, last night, I mean, they had a pay-per-view for NWA named after him.
Yep.
That was last night, Always Ready.
Yep.
And that just goes to show you what he was doing, not only in Impact, but in NWA as well. And he had to give up that title. So that's unfortunate. But he's probably on, like you said, the run of his career. Um, so yeah. Here I wanted to get this answered. We didn't include this as a topic. But C Wrestling asked, do you think CM Punk should have relinquished the AEW title or not?
Chat, what say you? Yes. Yeah.
You think so?
Listen, every other time you saw this happen to someone, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I'm not going to say anything different about CM Punk. It absolutely sucks. But when you look at it over the years, you saw this exact same thing happen to Finn Balor. Finn Balor could have been on top of the world because he could have started, he won that title. But he had to drop it too. Yes, he should have. I don't like this whole interim BS because what the hell is an interim title holder? What is it? What exactly do you mean? Are you a placeholder? So when CM Punk comes back, you just take that interim title and throw it in the garbage and relinquish it back to him. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. It sucks that it happened. It does. but it happens to wrestlers. And when it does, it's unfortunate, but they come out and they have to relinquish the title. Roman did it too. Roman had to come out and relinquish the title when he had his leukemia coming out. And I still remember that when he walked out and said, I can't keep this. And he relinquished the title. That's just the way you do it. You have a roster full of people who would chomp at the bit to get a shot at that title. And Freudian slip almost there. And AEW, I almost said WCW, and AEW has a big roster. So why not just use this time, have a tournament of some kind, and get somebody else with the title and give somebody else a shot? Yeah. He should have dropped it. Jeff, I'll get to you, and let me just see what the chat said. James says yes, he should have. Dana says yes. Sean says yes. Dylan says yes. What if CM Punk didn't relinquish the title to further the MJF storyline? Remember, he came out to stop MJF during a promo. Jason said yes, he should have given it back to Hangman. Yes, if you can't wrestle due to injury, then you should give it up. Yes, Juice Robinson had to relinquish the New Japan Pro Wrestling US Championship for getting his appendix out. That whole interim champ, it makes me feel like whoever wins they're nothing but a joke as a champion. AEW loves a tournament, have one every few weeks. Yeah, I think they're all in agreement. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I think what sucks about it the most is that he just won it. And I
Right.
think that's why there's some hesitation on people's part to say, yeah, he should have relinquished it. I think I think is different with wrestling. I think you have to really I mean, you have to change up storylines and all that stuff, but hey, put on a tournament or say, Hangman and Moxley, you go at it and winner gets the title and that kind of thing. And whenever he comes back, whoever's the champion, you face off against CM Punk. I mean, there are a couple ways that you can do it, but my guess is that he didn't do it because he just won it and they didn't want to forego whatever the plans are for that. So that will be my guess.
It's crappy, Jeff, but again, there's recent examples to cite. I mean, you even had Samoa Joe. Remember when Samoa Joe won the NXT title?
Yeah.
Boop, gone.
Done. Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but it happens, and it happens more often than you might think. But yeah, I don't like either. And listen, they could have said, okay, he's not going to drop it, but I don't think you have an interim champ. I don't think you use that word, and I don't think you need an interim champ. I don't know, use that new belt and just have a tournament for that. And then I wonder, had Kenny Omega been able, do you get him involved and get him the title back? My brain thinks this way sometimes. So I just kind of wonder if you had somebody sitting there who you kind of thought could take it right away and go forward. Do they think Wardlow's ready for that? Do they think, obviously they had something else planned for MJF, or MJF could have had it, but had Kenny been able to come back, I don't know. It's interesting. It's a good question. Thanks for the question, C. And yeah, the chat is reminds me of Finn Balor. Yeah, it sucked. I mean, that changed Finn Balor's career.
Yeah.
It really did. It changed his career. And yeah, so hey, Sean, how are you? Hope you are well. All right. Well, that is our news section of the show. And I think we're moving on, Jeff. And I think we're getting up on the part where we have something, and now everybody's going to hear it.
Yes, we will go there right about now.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
It was really hard, and Jeff and I were talking about this before the show. It was really hard for me to come up with any sort of a grievance this week because I haven't watched as much wrestling as I normally do. I'll just go with a really, really quick one, and then I'll let it up to Jeff. I want to talk about something, and it's more so not necessarily what I've seen about wrestling this week, but I'm going to use the term because I think it applies to wrestling as well. I'm going to use a two-word term that's called that I like to refer to as fan entitlement, quote unquote, fan entitlement. I got so disgusted over this past week, and it really had nothing at all to do with wrestling. It was a lot of the geek stuff that I watch, and it was like I'm like overloaded with geek stuff right now because you've got the Obi-Wan series, which is amazing. You've got the Marvel stuff going on now. You had Ms. Marvel just started last Wednesday, which I thought was awesome. There's so much of it now that it's just kind of overloading. But I call this is a relatively new term, I think, too, that probably came around maybe the past 5 or 6 years or so. But what I mean by fan entitlement, and I guess my definition of it is it's fans kind of thinking that, in my case for this past week, it's movie companies like Marvel or Disney or, whoever, or it's people who, I mean, it could be any form of media, really. People who write. I go back to, oh my gosh, who's the writer of Game of Thrones?
Oh man,
Yeah.
uh,
I can't think of it off the top of
I
my head
can't.
either. I'm sure
Yeah,
someone will shout it out. But the
yeah,
writer of Game of Thrones, it goes back for me to that because people were screaming and yelling like this dude owes us a book. Why isn't he not getting this book out? And when are we ever going to get the last chapter? And why is he not do? And then it started with Star Wars when the sequels came out, when the recent trilogy came out. Why are they not giving us what we want? Why we want this? George R.R. Martin, thank you, Big Dan. We want this, and we want this way. We don't want it that way. Why are they not giving us what we want? And this comes up so much now, so much. And all I could think of is, who the hell do you think you are? Like, what? And this applies to wrestling too. Who do you think you are that they need to satisfy you? You are a fan, and that's really it. You're not a producer, you're not a writer, you're not getting paid, you're not a company exec. You're a fan. What started making people think that they have the right to come out and say, "Why aren't you doing it how I want you to? Why are you not, why is, like the Star Wars example, why is there and I hate this term, by the way, everyone will piss me off, use this term. Why is there a Mary Sue in this film? And why is she so powerful? And why is she the lead character? And why is it not a guy? And why, oh my God. But I see so much of it, so much of it, that it just irks me, and I don't know when that started. Like, I grew up in a much different time, and of course there was no social media, there were no phones, there wasn't a forum to give everybody to complain, there wasn't any of that. So you either went to a movie to see it and you either liked it or you didn't, one or the other. But you had no forum to stand on unless you're a movie critic. So, but now everybody has that forum, and you just see more and more, and it applies to wrestling. You know, all you see is, why didn't they do this way? Why didn't they give this guy a title? Why is this woman not on TV more? And it almost comes off to me like people just think that they're more qualified than the people who work for these companies. And I don't know, maybe you are. Maybe you are. But my answer to that is, then aspire to do it. If you think you can be better than who they have, and if you're in a position where you can, man, go out and get it. Go out and, you guys in the chat come up with some amazing ideas. Man, go out and get it. Go find out with the information that you have privy to. Go and find out how you can get a job with a wrestling creative. And maybe you do have. And to finish up, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but to finish up, you sometimes think that stuff like that is not reachable, right? We live in an entitled generation. Yeah, we do. And sometimes it's just really, really annoying. But I think a lot of people have, instead of having an imagination and thinking that you could reach for dreams, I think people have given up on that a lot and have instead gone to social media sites to complain because they don't feel that they can do what they want to do or dream to do. I'm going to give you a little example, and I'll turn it to Jeff. For those of you who watch movies, and I'm sure most of you have seen Spider-Man. I would hope you would have. Tom Holland, the actor who plays him now, has pictures of himself as a 6 or 7-year-old boy, I believe, wearing a Spider-Man costume and pretending, which a lot of us all did when we were kids. At least I hope you did, because imagination's a really big thing, and it always has been to me. Pretending that he was Spider-Man. He's grown up now. He's playing Spider-Man. There's another great example of Ms. Marvel, the actress who is playing her. Just a few years ago, maybe 4, I think. She might have been 14 or 15. I think she's 19 now. Dressed up in a Ms. Marvel costume. She's now playing that role. That's pretty awesome. Your dreams can happen, guys. You can grab stuff like that. You just have to believe in yourself. Get off of Twitter and social media and stop feeling that you're entitled to things, but go and grab them. That's it. So a grievance that ends on a bit of a positive note. So there you go. Go ahead, Jeff.
There you go. I really don't have much of a grievance this week, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong; it's a good thing that I have a grievance. I think that I think what I'm gonna do is say this. I saw two people that I've seen around social media, through the wrestling stuff, suggest that Cody Rhodes was faking it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like I saw, and I'm not going to say their names because they don't deserve the attention. But I'm just gonna throw that out there, and I'll say this. This is the only thing I want to say as it pertains to those comments in wrestling. The men and women that wrestle night in, night out, that travel up and down the roads, that train hard, that, work out and do all those different things in an effort to entertain us. Not everything is a work. Not everything is choreographed. Not everything is planned out. Things happen, unfortunately, at times, and like Joe said earlier on, we've seen a ton of injuries recently. Those things happen, especially in a sport like professional wrestling, where um, there's a lot of violent movements. We're going to see injuries, but to suggest that someone would, fake an injury of that significance, I think it's a bit asinine. Um, so yeah, I would just like to say these men and women that do this for our entertainment deserve a little more respect than they get from time to time. Um, to piggyback off of what Joe said, the other part of entitlement that I've seen from wrestling fans, just to keep it strictly wrestling, is reaching out to these people directly
Oh boy.
on
Yeah.
social media. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a wrestler tweet out something and a fan respond, "Yeah, but your match sucked." When's the last time you've taken a bump? When's the last time you ran the ropes?
Yep.
So these people deserve our respect. They're doing something to entertain us. And yes, we can all have our opinions and say, "Oh, man, I really didn't enjoy that. That wasn't that great." But you can have that opinion and be respectful
Mhm.
and not be a jerk. So that's
Yep.
my advice this week.
Good
Don't be a
stuff.
jerk. Be nice.
Don't be a jerk.
Um,
Yep.
I'm trying to clean it up a little bit because there's something else I want to say,
Oh,
but jerk is probably the best way I can say it at this point. Just don't be a jerk.
yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. You're 100% right, and it's like I said, man. And I think Larry said I don't think things are worse. People just used to whine to people that they knew, people in bars, pubs. Yeah, you're right. Friends, people at bus stops. Only things that's changed. They have a bigger platform. Yeah, you're right. And unfortunately, like anything else, the negative gets the attention. That's what bothers me. These people who are the negative people are the ones that are getting the attention, and I really think they're attention seekers, and that's why they do what they do. Because that's what they want. They want a bunch of responses. They want people yelling and screaming at them. I think they enjoy it, which is kind of sick in its own right. But yeah, he's 100% right. And I mean the spew that you see that comes out there, like Jeff said, that some of these people share is disgusting. There's an actress on Obi-Wan that plays Reva on that series that got absolutely just clobbered with garbage, and she shared the DMs that she got, and it was disgusting, just disgusting. And why? Because people didn't like necessarily her acting. Okay. But then do you feel the need to attack that person with racial, disgusting slurs and with see that? That's what, like Jeff said, he wanted to say it in a better way of don't be a jerk. Like what possesses them to do that? Like, okay, I don't like your acting. Cool. I okay, and leave it go. You don't need to go further. Yeah, it's gross. It really is. It's just gross. Sean said great points. Jeff, that's sad. Some of these wrestling fans just aren't worth entertaining. I think Cody and CM Punk being hurt is a work. No, I don't think so, Dana. Jeff, people like that have probably never kissed a girl and made their own. Big, strong Mims had his shoulder separated and a possible broken arm and clavicle in his fight against Tyrus. His arm was turned the wrong way. Can we discuss the article about Wyndham and WWE that he made a video about featuring the Meltzer article? We're going to talk about him, I believe.
Next, as a matter of fact.
Next, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Moving on. There you go. Good segue, Sean.
Yes, that was a good segue. And now we ring the bell.
Time to ring the bell. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Whoa, look at that.
Ask and you shall receive. We're
Yeah.
talking about Wyndham, so um, I guess we'll start this off, Joe. Wyndham will return to the wrestling ring in 6 months or less. Chat, play along. I want to hear what you got to say, chat. But Joe, Wyndham will return to the ring in 6 months or less. Sell or no sell?
Man, from everything that's come out on his Twitter, and yeah, what Sean's referring to is that Meltzer article, and poking the bear, man. You talk about poking the bear. Obviously, when Wyndham put out all those tweets, a lot of people read between the lines and they know who and what he's talking about. That he made it pretty clear. People saying that he wants all this money, and then Meltzer comes out with an article saying that yes, he does want a ton of money, and and just a bunch of slander. See, if that's what is upsetting him, but well, let me just say this. I'm gonna no sell this. And I'll explain why. I agree with G.O.D in what she said. I don't think those tweets were meant to say he's coming back in the ring. I think they were meant to say that he wants to have his say and he wants to come out and he wants to tell everybody where they can shove all their crap information that they're spreading about him. And he wants to come out and he wants to have his own say. That's what I think this is leading up to. When he's telling us soon, it's going to happen soon, I think and G.O.D mentioned this, so I'll shout her out because, she had said too, I think he's going to come out and he's going to feed the baby birds, quote unquote, which is what he says. And I think he's going to give us his side of the story. That's what I think we're leading up to with this. What it's going to be, is it going to be with Jesse Cage? Is it going to be Cult of Wyndham? Is it going to be, I don't know. I don't know what format it will be. I don't know where he'll do it. I don't know who he'll do it with. But I think it's going to come out what is going to be his side of the story, because we've heard nothing from anyone other than the dirt sheets on what actually went on with him. So almost kind of like a Stone Cold Steve Austin sitting down with, I don't think it'll be him, but I think he'll sit down with somebody at some point soon, or maybe not. Maybe he'll do his own thing. I mean, hell, anybody can pick up a microphone, get on a camera and talk. He can certainly do it on his own. But I think that he's coming out to talk about what his story is. So I don't think he's going to be in a ring that soon. I think he still has other things he's doing. And to be honest, guys, Wyndham is a human being. And I think sometimes we forget, and Jeff mentioned that wrestlers are, because they're entertainers. But this stuff has to hurt. The stuff from Meltzer, it doesn't matter. We all know what he is. And it's got to hurt your heart to see all this stuff said about you without you being able to defend yourself or being able to say things back. So I don't think he will come back into a ring until that's through. I think he wants to, I think that's what he's going to do. And I think he's going to, that's what's going to come next. Where it goes after that, who knows? I don't know if he's still working on that film. We're not privy to what he's doing right now. He's going on autograph tours. He was just, I know Brittany Kay got his, went and met him. He was in New Jersey, I believe, on Saturday. So, and G.O.D said she was on, you got to talk to him on the phone? Damn. Jeez, G.O.D, did he tell you anything good? Wowie. I mean, wow, that's pretty awesome. So, but that's my opinion on it. I don't think he's going to be back in the ring within 6 months. I think he's going to. I think he wants to tell his story. I think that's what all that alluded to, and that's what I think we're going to get next from it. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna sell it.
Okay.
I love it!
I'm gonna say that it's gonna be closer to the 6 month mark. I don't think it'll be within the next month or 2 or 3, but I think it'll happen within 6 months. I think he's going to tell that story. I do think that's a part of those tweets is that he wants to tell that story. He needs to tell that story, and I think he will tell that story. But I do think it's going to be within 6 months. I
Okay.
do think that he'll return. Now, whether he returns to WWE, whether he goes to AEW, where he goes, I don't know. I can't really. I mean, I can make a prediction, but I don't really want to because he could go anywhere. But I do think he'll be back at some point in the not too distant future.
Wyndham, if you ever listen to our show, take a swing over to Impact. I don't care if you're there for 4 months. Man, just do it. Just do it. You could literally help to rise them up where they're like a must-watch show, dude. Just do it. Just do it. It would only make that mystique even bigger. But oh my god, the stuff they could do with
Yeah.
a guy like you and a character that you have. Oh my god, man. Go to Impact. Like I said, sign up 4-month deal, sign up, whatever. I just go and appear on TV with them for one pay-per-view. I don't care, one pay-per-view, or and maybe a month's worth of TV. Oh my god, just do it.
All you gotta say is
Yowie wowie!
Just do it. Jody said yes. Jesse, Brittany called me and handed him the phone. Wow, that's a pretty cool call. With Cody out, WWE is going to need someone to be the big baby face of Raw. Wyndham is the guy. Some people, Wyndham returns, I'll be interested. Watch it. Until then, not interested in what he does or doesn't do. I'm not following anything. I really only take an interest in wrestlers when they're active in the sport. I'm not going to sell or no sell this because only he knows. Some people are, I think most agreed with Jeff. It looks like a lot of you said sell. Jeff said sell. Craig said sell. James said eventually he will return. Sell because he will go to WWE and have the long WWE or have the long title reigns. James said sell. Big Dan says sell. I truly think he will return. In fact, the direction they want to take Judgment Day only strengthens the theory. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, there you go. So a little bit about Wyndham. I think the Fiend learns things from everyone. He attacks. Really, he never left. He's just now doing his trick from John Cena, and you can't see him. You can't see me. By the way, if you guys get a chance to, I think I shared it on Twitter. There was a thing that John Cena did, which was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I shared it with Jeff. Go look at our Twitter because I have it there. When you get a chance, I won't dwell on it. But man, what a moment. He just does amazing things for kids. And this was probably the best one I've seen. So just unbelievable. Go check it out. At Royal Rumble, we get Firefly Funhouse breaking news, and they play He's Got the Whole World in His Hands and makes his debut at Mania in Hollywood. We'll see. We shall see. The Fiend takes over Decay. Oh, God. The Swack fan, I'd love it. I would absolutely love it. I would. You would hear me mark out more than you probably have ever heard me mark out for the Kiss Demon, for Rosemary, for Decay, for oh my God, it would be amazing. It would be amazing. James, no, he was just. Oh, this is what he said. I thought for sure you'd be here. I'm disappointed. Oh, bummer. Really seriously, does anybody know what happened with Killer Cross and Impact? No, I don't. I know there's something there. It was probably a bad breakup. Things happen. So it could have been a contract thing and maybe just a bad breakup. That's kind of what it sounded like to me when he talked about it. So we'll see. All right, Jeff, what's the next topic?
all right. Next topic up: the MJF AEW saga is a work. Sell or no sell?
Yeah, it's definitely a work. Sell.
I love it!
Yes. Yeah, it's absolutely work. I have no that even if I was on the fence with it a little bit when I first heard or was listening to it first starting up, I'm not at all on the fence about it at all anymore. It's definitely a work, no doubt. It's a good one, and we'll see where it goes. We talked about this earlier in the psychology that surrounds this, where it could go. Now I'm going to kind of want that to happen, Jeff, and if it doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed. But yeah, it's definitely I definitely sell it. Definitely sell it. James Grant says sell. Sean talking about Wyndham. He was so nice to Sean Jr. and Isabella when we met him with Jeff, Jody, and Brittany. Yeah, they all got to meet him not that long ago. Truly a class act. When he asked Sean Jr. to hold the Bray head for the picture, it was awesome. He seems like a nice guy. I've never gotten a chance to meet him. I wish I would have. But he seems like a nice guy. So I mean, hey, wrestler or not, or whatever people are saying, it sucks that, like I said, I hope we hear his story soon. Go ahead, Jeff. What do you think? Sell or no sell, man?
I'm gonna sell it. I gotta sell it.
I love it.
I do think there are elements of truth in it though, and that's the best programs, the best promos, the best feuds, when it comes down to it, have some elements of truth and real life in them. So I do think that this is a work, but I do think a lot of his promo had some little truths in there, if you will.
Yes. Tazzy, I did it. What the psychology in the ring? I did say it.
Yep, he did, and
I did say it.
we give you a
Jason
bazinga.
says no
Bazinga.
sell. Bazinga. Yes, I got it. No sell. He's already signed with the WWE. Sell. It reminds me of Pillman and the Loose Cannon storyline mixed with 2011 Punk. It would make my day if Bray signed back to WWE and came back before August when they'll be in DC for Raw. Look, I missed out on possibly seeing him. And I would definitely not, if he came back as the Fiend, I would have to go to a live event and see that entrance because I'm really bummed that I didn't get to. So sell, but this is a case that blurs the lines between what's real and what's not. Alicia says sell also. All right, what's next?
All right, last one. Impact Wrestling. Losing top stars is not a good thing long term for the company.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they really have been losing a lot of people lately. Morrissey, of course, leaving, and oh man, it's tough. I hate it for them because you know they they have so much momentum going, and then you know they go. These people leave, and yeah, sure, it's gonna hurt. Um, Yeah, I guess I gotta say sell. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it.
I love it.
Yeah, long term, I think is the key words there for me. And yes, I think it will. Because if listen, if other people see these people going, they're gonna be more apt to go and kind of have these shorter. You can have roster turnaround, and so far they've done a pretty decent job with that and getting people into other roles. But eventually, when you have these really big names that are there that end up getting turned over, like let's just say someone like Moose left the company, who carried the title for a long time. Let's say, somebody like, I'm trying to think of somebody like the Deonna Purrazzo leaves and goes on to a different company. That hurts. And it's little shots here and there and here and there. You're going to buckle though eventually. And I love Impact, and I don't like to see that. And so I've said this, I love them, but they need something better with the TV deal. They need something else that's going to keep these people there a little bit longer. But yeah, I don't think it's good long term. I don't want to say that because I don't want to feel doom and gloom, but I have to sell it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it.
I love it.
It the one of my criticisms, um, which the Coog brings up. I mean, honestly, if there were if the apocalypse happened, cockroaches, spam, and Impact Wrestling would survive. I mean, Impact Wrestling has been on death's door so many times that I feel like I feel like they're next door neighbors at
That's
times.
true.
Um, but I think losing the one thing I fear for Impact Wrestling is I don't want it to become a pit stop.
Right.
I don't want it to become a transitional company where people go when they get let go from AEW or WWE, kind of have a career resurgence for about 6 to 9 months and then go off to another company. I want them to be a destination.
Right.
What they did with the Good Brothers when they first got released from WWE, I thought was very important because the
Yep.
Good Brothers have been there for a while now.
Yep.
So keeping them around, knowing their pedigree, knowing, how good of a team they are, um, that was important for them to keep them. Losing Jonah, losing Morrissey, that hurts.
Yep.
Um, I would even say that this starts back to losing someone like a Kiera Hogan, who, in my opinion, Kiera Hogan, I mean, I like what she's doing with AEW now that she's gotten some time finally, um, to do the stuff with the baddies and all that stuff. But um, losing someone like her hurt, in my opinion. Um, so I just think that at this point you got your top two companies. You got a lot of people who are trying to vie for that number three spot. Um, I think Impact is firmly cemented there, but watch out for MLW because MLW was really, really good. NWA is picking up some some steam too. So watch out for NWA. I want to see them compete. And yes, they need if they're ideally they would be on a different channel. But
Yeah.
Anthem owns Access TV.
Yep.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to get them on another station. So again, I feel like they need to do something to change the momentum. I feel like Impact Wrestling, and I'll get off my soapbox here in a second, but it's like that hidden gem where when you go to a town, like a small town, you ask people around town, hey, what's that one restaurant or the one place that I have to go when I'm here?
Mhm.
And, for wrestling, it's like Impact Wrestling, because it's so good. The storylines are so good. The wrestling is really good. The problem is that not enough people know about it. Not enough people know how to access it, no pun intended. Um, but they don't know how to access where to find it. And that's a problem. Like it's a problem for Impact. You got to find a way to get on a streaming service, or you have to find a way to, to do a little bit better job with letting people know where you are and how to find you. But honestly, for me, Impact is consistently the best show that we watch. I just wish more people saw it.
I'll just throw this out there for whoever may be listening. We would have no problem in broadcasting a feed on a certain place. So whether it be Twitch or wherever, we would have no problem doing that. We are kind of like self-appointed ambassadors of Impact, so we would have no problem doing that. Just saying.
Just saying.
We do, I think we have gotten a pretty good community of fans that are now watching that show that maybe haven't before. So I'm just saying, not to toot my own horn. Anyway, yeah, I agree with everything Jeff said. Yeah, when you love something as much as we do, you want to see it succeed, and and that's what it is. I don't want to see, like Jeff said, they'll survive. They kind of always do, but I don't want to see it lose the momentum that it got from the stuff with Mickey James, which, by the way, she's back. Derek, she's coming back. She's coming back. Derek, she's gonna be at Slammiversary. But I don't want to see them lose the momentum that they were getting, and kind of take a step backwards. So, but yeah, I agree with all that. Impact constantly has to fight against undeserved hate. Fans keep holding Impact to past matches mistakes. Mistakes, which is not right. I kept saying to AEW fans, Jay White has been in Impact for months. Bullet Club is, etc. Yeah, see, and that's right, Larry, and that's what they have to. That's what they have to publicize. That's what they have to get out there. Like, you've seen these guys on AEW, come over and see them over here where they've been for the past 6 months. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I think we're done with the debating for the day.
Yes.
We're moving on. I think we're going, speaking of Impact.
Yeah. What to watch for?
We're at the what to watch for segment. And obviously, we talked about this early on in the show. Slammiversary is coming up. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen.
Sunday.
Next Sunday. It is one of their, if not the biggest show that they do for the year. This one is going to be special. And if you haven't heard, it is a celebration of them. They are in Nashville, which is their old stomping grounds for this show. And so you're going to have now some of the matches we have got confirmed. Now there's a lot of stuff still need like missing pieces. Of course, we have Josh Alexander defending his world title against Eric Young of Violent by Design. You have a Queen of the Mountain match, which now Mickey James is the special enforcer of. Deonna Purrazzo, Chelsea Green better watch out. Now that's all I'm saying. Chelsea better watch out. We have, of course, Tasha Steelz. We have Jordan Grace, and we have Mia Yim. So very, very interesting that one is going to be, and that's for the championship. So whoever walks away, I kind of think Mickey may have a little revenge on her mind being the special enforcer with one Chelsea Green, and may kind of cost her a match. We'll see. But we'll get to that in our predictions this Thursday. And then Honor No More versus the Impact Originals. Only now, did they announce any more, Jeff, that I missed on? Because I watched Impact, but I didn't see. Now maybe I missed it. Right now, they have the Machine Guns and they have Kazarian. Are they the only three they have for the match? Okay,
that's it. That's it.
So it's Honor No More. It's PCO, Vincent, of course, Eddie Edwards, and their group going up against the Impact Originals. So there's still two more of the Impact Originals to be announced. So a lot of people are speculating, who will it be? Could it be a Kurt Angle? Could it be a Samoa Joe? Could it be? We'll see. But that's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of celebration during this, probably more so. Will we get some surprises? I think there's a pretty good chance we might see a return of Su Yung at this show. I think we're going to get some surprises. We usually do. So I think this is going to be a great show. And so don't miss it. If you're not one of our regulars that comes out to watch Impact, I would tell you I'm not going to tell anyone to pay the money for it, because they can be expensive, obviously, for pay-per-views, but come out and check out the show with us that night, and maybe give it a watch on Thursday, and just see what's going on. I could promise you will have a good time. It's very low stress, and that's kind of why me and Jeff like it. So come out and check it out if you haven't done so already, and definitely check out Slammiversary. Jeff, I think with the matches and stuff like that are out there, this is going to be a really fun show.
Yeah, this is going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for it. I hate the fact that it's on Father's Day.
Yes, it is.
That's the only thing.
Yeah,
I wish they had kept it to a Saturday.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that. They usually have had them on Saturday. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, other than that, I'm looking forward to it. Moose Sammy Callahan has been announced as a Monsters Ball match.
I did see that. Yes,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yep.
So that's going to be great. The Ultimate X match is going to be phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen an Ultimate X match, that's a reason to come in itself.
Yeah.
Because that I saw my first one last year on at Slammiversary, I think it
Slammiversary.
was.
Yeah.
And they are incredible to watch. Absolutely incredible. Hard as hell to try to call and follow. Trust me, I've been there. But they are really amazing and fun to watch. So yeah, come out and check it out. And listen, those of you who are the Impact fans, and I know there are a lot of you, spread the word. Tell
Yeah.
your friends. Tell the people that you know that like wrestling to check it out. Whether you have them come and see us or not, that'd be great. But even if not, tell them to give the show a watch, and let's try to develop that bigger audience to try to get more people watching the show. So.
Yep.
Sting could show up, maybe Ric Flair, Sting and Bobby Moose and Moose versus Sammy Callahan. Yep. 20-year anniversary of TNA. Yep. I don't see this happening, but if Anthem owns Access, could Impact break away from them? I doubt that, Mark. I don't think so. I mean, they could sell them, but to who? And then you have to worry about somebody else that would buy them. I don't know. Next weekend, yes. If WWE would let AJ Styles go, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be tough for them. 2 Dimes from NXT was released. Yeah, somebody mentioned that up above in the chat. Yep. I forget who, but someone mentioned it way above. I'll probably not be able to find it now. It would take me forever. But yeah, 2 Dimes has been released from NXT. Can we see Sunny? Maybe. You never, like I said, you never know. They'll be surprised there. I believe Impact moved it to Sunday due to the AAA Triple Mania being on Saturday. Could be.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'd love to see Don West make an appearance with Mike Tenay. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh man,
that'd be awesome. I just wanted to. Well, I think we're going to see some good stuff. I think we're going to see a lot of memorable things that are going to happen during this. So I just want them to bring back the scaffolding X about the rope. About the rope one. The Ultimate X is the match I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right, man. I think we got to book a wrestler.
I think we do. I think we do have a book a wrestler. I think we do. This one should be interesting.
Who? Like the New Day. Who is it? Who is it? Who? Who we booking?
And here we go.
We're going through the tunnel.
Hey!
Athena. We are going to book Athena. So Athena, of course, just making her debut in AEW, and happy for her. Great wrestler. Loved her when she was in NXT, and of course, just never, the whole call up thing just didn't work out, and that sometimes happens. So, go ahead, Jeff. You start us out. How would you book Athena? Of course, being over there at AEW.
Listen, I think not enough people realize how great of a talent Athena is. She's tremendous. I think you got to give her time. What I would do, however, and people may not like me for saying this, but I think you need to pair her with a manager. I would love to see her with a manager. I'm not sure who. Give me some thoughts. If you're like an avid AEW watcher, give me some thoughts on who you think. What's up, Gus?
Hey, Gus.
But yeah, I think pair her with a manager, and I would keep her away from Jade Cargill right now.
Yeah.
I would keep her away from that right now because Tazzy as the manager, you know what? Sign me up for that. Tazzy is her. Sign me up for that. I'm good with that. I say keep her away from Jade right now because we know what's going to happen. They're really, really high on Jade. She's not losing anytime soon. I don't think she would lose to Athena. put that far down the road. But I would just have her rack up wins. That's what I would do, and make sure she's there. Make sure she's visible, and that if you're gonna bring her in with the manager, make sure that the manager is talking her up. Have her involved as many backstage promos and all that stuff as you can. Get her involved. But I'm seeing some names here in the chat that I really like. Gus is saying Vicky Guerrero, Taz or Regal says the coup. Paige, bring in Paige, which we didn't talk about that, but Paige announcing that she was out
Yeah,
of the
she's
WWE.
yep.
Let's see here. Who else?
Mark Henry, Sean
Mark
mentioned.
Henry, I like that. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different ways that you could go with her, um, but yeah, I think she needs to be a face. Keep her strong and just don't have her go up against Jade anytime soon. Build that out. Do not The other thing that I would say too is I would not do a title match within the first 3 months with her. That seems to be the case for a few of the women that they've brought in recently, is that they've, kind of stuck them in that picture only to have them lose. Don't do that yet. Build her out a little bit longer. But that's what I would do. I'd have her go on a streak and um and build up to the Jade thing. I'd have mentions here and there. Jazz, ooh, as a manager, now you get see that Jazz as Athena's manager would be awesome. I would love if she would come out of retirement. That would be awesome. By the way, I have a picture behind me of me and Jazz. So, um,
There you
but,
go.
but yeah, I book her as a baby face. Just keep her away from Jade. Have her go on a long winning streak. We're good to go.
Hey Cyrus, how are you? I have a little bit of an opposite thing, but I do like your point about the manager. But you know who I'm gonna pick for that? Out of the blue, Dan Lambert.
Really?
I want to see her be a heel, and I want to see her join up with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And just get was when Jeff was going over, I was kind of thinking about it in my head where I'd want to see her go. And when he said the manager, I'm trying to think, okay, who's some of the established managers in AEW? I'd love to see her play a heel. I really would. I think she would. She's got it in her to do it, and I think she could. Now I know people are automatically lining her up, obviously against Jade, and Jade is, Jade's a tweener. To me, I think she's a better heel, but I would put her in with those two guys. I think that having a woman there with them, and look, you have two guys who, when they were with Dan Lambert, were kind of disgruntled, right? They were the whole thing about they weren't thinking they were getting what they deserved and this kind of thing. And that's kind of why they joined up with Lambert in the first place. I think she'd perfectly fit in with that because of her situation that she came from. Um, and but I think having her in that faction would be awesome. I think they're just missing that kind of one piece, and I think she would be amazing at it. And she can play. She was a great face, no doubt. And I agree with all of you there. But I would say have her join up with Scorpio and Ethan Page. I think it would be awesome. I think it'd be a big twist that I don't think anybody would see coming. And the fact that she would walk out. Remember, when Lambert was going around scouting and stuff like that to other places, and he was over in Impact looking to be. I think she'd be awesome. Don Callis would be good too. Callis has been gone for a while. He hasn't been on TV for a while, but yeah, a cocky guy like that, a manager. But I'm just thinking more about just as a faction. But Ethan, Athena, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think it'd be awesome. I think it would be awesome, and I think she would do a great job with it. They can certainly turn her face eventually because she can do both roles really, really well. But I don't know. I just would love to see her in with that group and just add that her talents to that group, and then they could have somebody that can go after one of the other women's wrestlers who might be a face at the time. But man, I'd love to see that. I don't know why. I just think that would really, really be cool. Dan Lambert had Lashley also in TNA. Interesting, says Randy Sam. Athena with Dan Lambert, and she'd be the female Sky. No disrespect. This is not color, but I like it. Yeah. And that's what, yeah. I don't know. I just, as soon as he said manager, it popped into my head. Well, what about Dan Lambert? So I think it'd be interesting. Does Athena's image presentation really go with Men of the Year? They actually wanted Jade at one point. At least Ethan said that. Yeah. I listen. Why not? I mean, him and Scorpio are obviously Men of the Year, but adding a woman to a faction isn't a bad idea, and I could certainly see her doing that. Jeff says you're onto something too. Athena can be trained with Paige. Yeah. I would like to see it. So we'll see. I mean, maybe if you turn it around and Paige ends up in AEW, maybe Paige joins up with Adam Lambert. That could work too, because Paige worked as a good heel as well. So, oh, there you go. So people were mentioning the Elite has no female members, I believe, but that would be cool. Yeah, that's what it just popped into my head. I don't know. I think it's cool. I wish her and Stokely would have come in as a tandem. Having him as their manager would have been great. That's from Jeff. Teddy Long, says James Chadwick. Good old Teddy Long. You have a match with the Undertaker. All right. Well, there you go.
All right, player. You got a one-on-one match with Jade.
Oh, man. Gotta love it. Got to love it. If you guys want to have a wrestler you might be a fan of, or someone that's kind of off the radar a little bit that you think we should do during this segment for Book a Wrestler, let us know in the comments below this video, or however you want to do it. Let us know on Twitter, on in the comments of this, on wherever else we happen to be. Let us know, and we can always do that at some point down the road. All right, Jeff, I think we are doing our favorite moments of the week.
Yes, favorite moments of the week. I'm right now, I'm almost about to give my number 3. Even just leading up to it, because thank God for medicine. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, Jeff hurt his back a little bit yesterday, so he's that's we're gonna get Jeff out of here a little earlier than normal tonight so he can go rest up, because back injuries kind of suck, and so he's fighting through for us tonight.
Yes. So if you see me squirming, if you see me doing this, if you see me kind of up here and all that stuff, I don't have to pee or anything like that. It's just my back hurts. That's all.
There you go. All right. Favorite moments of the week. Here we go. Give us your 3 favorite moments. Play along with us as we go through ours. Jeff, what was your number 3?
Man, my number 3 moment of the week is being back on our channel. Being back on our channel and doing that with the Hell in a Cell watch along. I really enjoyed Hell in a Cell. I thought it was really good. And there might be something else from Hell in a Cell that tops my list. But coming back on the channel and doing that first watch along with a really good show, I have to say that was my number 3 moment of the week.
Yeah, you know what? If you find yourself not enjoying something sometimes, take a break from it. And when you come back, you kind of realize what you miss.
Mhm.
And it's always good to just take a break, get away from things for a little bit, everything, and just unwind and stuff like that. And then when you do come back, you realize how much you miss it. So good one. My number 3 Big Dan saying Cody's gutsy performance, the Edge swerve, and MJF's promo. James Grant, 3 for me is Judgment Day wiping out Edge. Hell in a Cell was fun to watch. Derek says, having you guys back. Well, thank you, Derek. We appreciate that. Cody's legend growing, and Will Ospreay on AEW. Number 3, being with you guys. So grateful. Thank you, Randy. Watching Hell in a Cell and next Slammiversary. We're going back for you. Said MJF pipe bomb takes all 3 spots. My number 3. Impact Wrestling. Macklin and PCO.
Woo!
Wow. I didn't think that was a match I needed to see, but I ended up really, really enjoying that match.
Woo!
PCO is a marvel. Like, he just week after week after week just continues to. I mean, this dude is a young spring chicken. He's out there wrestling at the age he's at, and man, every week he just looks like what he is, what he portrays, an unstoppable monster. And Macklin, man, listen, if Macklin is not the next opponent for Josh Alexander, I'm going to be shocked at this point. Because man, he deserves it, and where he's come from, and he is just he's looking great too in all of his matches. He just took down the guy who took down Jonah. Think about that. He just took down the man who took down Jonah. So he's got to be next in line, I would think, for Josh. We'll see. But man, how far he's come. So that was an amazing match. And I'm glad I got to see it. So that's my number 3. Go ahead, Jeff. What's your number 2?
I gotta ask before we go forward. What'd you think about his shoulder?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. Yep.
His shoulder popping out like that. I was
my
like,
God.
man, that's oh goodness. That
Yep.
was crazy.
All I could think of was Lethal Weapon when Mel Gibson used to have to go bang his shoulder back in. It's like, oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, as a person who has to do that same thing, I can relate.
It's so weird. I will tell you guys, it is so weird watching it on Access TV. When I don't get to see the show now with you guys and I watch it on Access, it is so weird watching it because I have to sit through the annoying commercials, and they are lousy commercials on that channel. I will say they are terrible. And I have to sit through the commercials. Oh my God. It is so weird watching it on TV now. It really is. Let me get some more comments in here. We'll go to Jeff's number 2. Apollo back at NXT. Yeah, how about that? Finn Balor joins Judgment Day, then kicks Edge out, and Cody Rhodes wrestling injured at Hell in a Cell. Moxley versus Takahashi at Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay at AEW. Jay White's promos after Dominion, especially the backstage one. Riddle's promo with Miz. Judgment Day turning on Edge. Judgment Day match at Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. Number 3, MJF promo number 2, and when I heard CM Punk was hurt, I was happy. Oh, jeez. Wow. All right, Dana. El Toro Blanco Rush debuts at AEW Double or Nothing. Former 2-time ROH champ and CMLL legend. Impact Wrestling, and also I didn't see Matt Morgan. Yeah, Matt Morgan was on
there. Yeah,
that was cool. Yes, that was a good one. And Judgment Day's turn. PCO versus Macklin, first blood match. Book it, Scott D'Amore. PCO loses. Judgment Day turning on Edge. Gunther winning the IC title, and Cody winning in Hell in a Cell. Jay White winning the IWGP Heavyweight title. All right, man. What's your number 2?
Dang it. You stole my number 2. Whoever just said Jay White. So
that was Mark.
Okay, so thank you, Mark. But yeah, Jay White is one of the best wrestlers in the world, period. Like I don't think that's up for a debate. I don't think that's up for argument at all. He's one of the best. I think that's something all of us wrestling fans can agree on, right? We can agree on something that he's one of the best. So yeah, him winning the IWGP heavyweight championship is phenomenal. And think about that. If he does more stuff with Impact, you have the IWGP heavyweight champion on Impact programming. So again, if you're listening, promote the people that are on your show.
Yes.
Promote that you have the Bullet Club. You now have 2 members of the Bullet Club in your promotion.
Yep.
You have Chris Bay and you have Ace Austin. So, yeah, dang it. Come on.
Yes. Do that.
That's my number 2.
Jay White called Hangman a big cowboy bitch at the mid. Did he really? That's awesome. All right. My number 2. Now you got to remember, I didn't get to watch a ton of wrestling this week. I'm gonna go with 2 for number 2, but they're both from the same person, and I'm gonna go with Riddle and Sami Zayn's match, and then also Riddle's promo with the Miz and the talk about balls. Oh my God, I was dying. And then when Maurice comes out and says, he has average balls. And Miz just looks at her like, what are you doing to me? And it's like, no, he has big balls. Look, like him or hate him, both of those guys, Riddle is getting a match with Roman. And who would have thought? But I will say that The Miz and Sami Zayn, say what you want about them, they annoy the crap out of you as a fan, but they're good at it. And they're really, really good at it. And could you imagine those 2 guys in a tag team? Oh
I
my
would love every single second of that.
God.
Every single minute of that I would love.
Oh my God. Put tag titles on those 2. Oh my Lord. But I even sat and watched I got to watch Ms. and Mrs. And I love that show. I love that show because he gets puts in his place a lot on there, and it's funny. But yeah, the 2 segments that Riddle had, and again, congrats, of course, to Riddle, and he has a big opportunity with Roman. I kind of don't think really anybody thinks he's going to beat him. But who knows with Riddle? He's the kind of guy. Listen, he's got a huge fan base, and so who knows? But I just think that those 2 guys really helped vault him up toward that. And they're just really good at what they do. Like I said, both of them are. So that was my number 2. I just love both of those things. Yeah, I was dying too, Deanne. I thought it was hilarious. I mean, it's just such a silly little thing. But Maurice still can do. She does a great job with promos and stuff too. When she was out there, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be good. So what Riddle said at the end was, yeah, I love them both. And Sami Zayn and The Miz are they're MVPs. They really are. The WWE wouldn't be what they are without both of those guys. So I thought you were going to say huge. Roman will make him a bigger star. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to beat him, but I think it'll be close. Probably closer than a lot of people think. And yeah, Roman. What? Oh, saw my shirt. What? My Negan shirt. Yeah. Yeah, it's my Negan shirt from Walking Dead. All right, Jeff. I think I have a feeling we're probably going to share the same number 1, but go ahead.
Yeah. Number 1 for me is real simple.
Ho hum, right?
Wrestling is hard. It's really hard. I speak
Yeah.
from personal experience. It's hard. Wrestling with nagging minor inflictions of pain, kind of hard. Been there, done that. Who in their right mind wrestles with a torn pec?
Completely torn off the bone, mind you.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Cody Rhodes. Not only did he wrestle with a torn pec, he wrestled one of the best matches of the year with the torn pec. So much so that our very very knowledgeable Uncle Dave gave it 5 stars.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Well, holy crap. Uncle Dave gave it 5 stars.
Imagine that.
I mean, what else can you say other than that is how you end a feud? I hate the fact that Cody has to be out for any amount of time because I can only imagine, like, the reaction and people's push for him to be, for him to be in that title picture sooner rather than later. I was interested to see were they gonna have him win Money in the Bank. That was I was interested to see if that was gonna be the plan, but Cody Rhodes, my number 1 this week.
Yeah, I don't think you could really vote any others.
Yeah.
It's a once in a, and like I was saying earlier in the show, it's a once in a lifetime thing. I don't think we may ever see anything like that again. Sean Rousseau saying MJF's promo, Roxanne Perez. Yeah, how about Roxy? Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Cody's match at Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I just don't. I just don't think you will ever see anything like that again.
No.
It was fantastic. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Man, we got an impromptu strap match, which was brilliant, by the way, because whoever, again, kudos to who thought of this. We don't know. It could have been partially Cody and Seth. It could have been something with creative or a combination of all three. We don't know. But whoever thought of it, brilliant. Because when you do that match, you use only one arm. The other arm isn't used. Smart. Very, very smart, whoever thought that up. Brilliant. I thought, honestly, and I said before, when we were doing the watch along, I said, this match isn't going to last more than probably 10 minutes. That wasn't true. It went a good 25. So unbelievable. And again, I don't really know anything else to say other than we thank Cody. We tip our cap to him, and hopefully he gets back sooner than later. I think the plan probably was for him to win Money in the Bank. I would think. So he would have had that briefcase and would have been one step closer to cashing it in and making his dream fulfilled with a match against Roman Reigns. So Texas Bull Rope, yes. Yep. I think Cody will return in 2023 as number 30, the same way Cena did. It could be. He could return at the Rumble. It'd be about that time. They're saying 9 months, but I think they're overestimating that, probably to make it so that we would be surprised when he does come back, because they said it's 9 months and he'll probably come back. Most people, they already said, like, they're comparing it to when Cena had a similar injury. He was back in 6. So that's what people are probably saying. He'd probably get back in 6 months. So match of a lifetime. Yeah, you're not going to see, guys, as fans, you're not going to see many things like that. You're just not. So just wanted to say I'm really appreciative you guys are back. The struggling being sick and sorry, dude. I hope you're feeling better, Derek. Do you think Bullet Club will invade AEW before Forbidden Door? Maybe, Jamie. Possible. All right. Well, there's our favorite moments of the week. Thank you for sharing yours. It's always a good thing when you can watch some wrestling, get away from it all, and pick out 2 or 3 things that you really, really enjoyed during the course of the week. So, that's another thing too. Heather's mentioning Cena. Cena is coming back.
Yeah.
It was announced that he'll be back. So some people are saying he might be in a program with Theory, which would be good. That would be something to see. So yeah, John Cena will be coming back very shortly. So that's awesome as well. All right. We are headed to the end part of the show, which is going to be the lighter side of the ring. And we will hopefully hear something from Jesse. Yeah. So, well, look. While we're waiting for Jesse to warm up here, and of course C to come out with his criticisms if he's still here, we'll tell you about our schedule. So tomorrow, Abby's Jeff. Do we know yet? Do we not?
I will find out. Let me ask.
Okay. So should be having Abby's window tomorrow. Jeff will check and see. We'll have that answer for you. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is, of course, tomorrow. So I'll talk about all things with Wyndham, and maybe Jody will share a little bit more about the phone call that she had with him on the show tomorrow. I'm sure she will. So make sure you join Jeff and Jody at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. But we'll let you know for sure if for some reason she can't make it. So I know sometimes she has to work and stuff, so we'll see. But we'll find out. We'll let you know. Nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday. Thursday, Impact Wrestling, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. I should be there from now on because I'm getting out of work early. I'm done now at 6:30, so I will definitely be home now in time to start the show. So that'll be fun. I won't have to be joining at like 8:30 anymore. My schedule changed a little bit, so I'm happy with that. So I should be seeing you all right at the start, along with Jeff and whoever else, if Tazzie's there as well. But don't miss that. It is a go-home show for Slammiversary. We all know that their go-home shows are awesome. So don't miss Thursday's show if you are planning on watching Slammiversary, because I'm sure we're going to get more matches announced. I'm sure we're going to get, maybe you might even get some surprises there as well. So don't miss that. And then after that, we usually do after the Impact, we will be doing predictions for Slammiversary this week instead, which we always do. So come back after the show is over. We take about a 15-minute break. We come back afterwards, and we will do our Slammiversary prediction show at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. And then, of course, nothing Friday. Nothing Saturday. We are back here next Sunday at this time. In particular, we'll start the show. Oh, I don't know, Jeff. What do you think? 7:30?
Yeah.
We'll start at 7:30 on Sunday for Slammiversary. So, and we will be here, of course, until the end of that. So don't forget to join us next Sunday night. It's already here for Slammiversary. And then looking down the road, of course, we will be doing Money in the Bank. So make sure that you join us for Money in the Bank. I know that there might be some there's other things going on. I think there's a UFC thing going on that day. So we will be here doing Money in the Bank. So come and join us for that as well. 7 days until Slammiversary. I am hyped. I got the jokes ready an hour ago. I've got 7. Okay. So can't wait for Slammiversary. No, and neither can I. I'm psyched. One of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. So, all right, Jesse, whenever you're ready, let him go.
Let him rip.
Let it rip. Yes. What else is going on? Don't forget, if you like the geek stuff, check out Ms. Marvel. It was fantastic. Really good. Literally, it's their best reviewed Marvel show yet. And it was really one of the best debuts I've seen. I really loved it. Really, really loved it. So check that out if you get a chance to. What else is going on? I think Thor. Yeah, Thor is coming out soon, in less than a month. I think Thor: Love and Thunder comes out. Black Phone's coming out, Jeff, pretty soon. I can't
wait for that.
That looks incredibly scary. And Nope. Jeff and I were talking about Nope. I don't. I'm completely thrown off now, but I don't think it's about aliens anymore. I think it's going to be something else because we already got the reveal of a UFO. I think Jordan Peele loves to do that. And I'm excited for that too. Man, I love all this stuff. I really do. Like Spike! Yes. Please make sure, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're getting very close to 2,900. I think we're only 15 away. If you haven't subscribed, or if you know somebody who may like the show and they haven't subscribed, have them come check out our show. We're only 15 away from 2,900. Hey, you never know. Maybe with these pay-per-views coming up, we can get close to the 3,000 mark. Be pretty damn awesome. Pretty awesome. We get the 3K. Remember what I told you guys? I don't know if you were around, but I have a piece of art to give away from Rob Schembeckler, the guy who paints the WWE people. This is an art, a picture of the Burn Fiend. So I have that to give away to some lucky winner when we hit the 3,000 mark. So, all right, number 1. What do you call it when every one of your friends makes too many dumb COVID jokes? A pandemic. A pandemic. Yes. That's amazing. That's nothing. Monkeypox jokes are coming. Oh no. Not the monkeypox. But yeah, so I have a a print of that artwork of the Burn Fiend. I'm looking at it right now on my Fiend shelf. So I will be giving that away to someone when we hit 3K. Tazzy's getting close to 1K. Let's get Tazzy to 1K, please.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. I think he's in
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, let's get that happening. And if you haven't, make sure that you go check out Tazzy's channel. He's changing some things up a little bit. So check out his schedule. We always share it on our Twitter. So if you don't know what it is, you will see it. But yes, let's get Tazzy to 1K. Let's do that. Alicia says, I can't wait. All right, Jesse, we're waiting for number 2. Number 2.
I'm still here. I'm just no one wants to see the faces that I'm making right now.
Jeff's making sore back faces. I have a joke. Why did the duck get arrested? He got caught selling quack. That was good. That was good, Gus. That was good.
Oh.
What's my favorite sitcom actor and act? Oh my God. Yikes. Ted Danson, because of Cheers, is probably actress. Wow. There are so many. Oh my gosh. Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy. Man, that is tough. There are a lot of them that I've watched over the years. Wow. That's hard. That takes a lot of thinking. Hazzy sharing his YouTube channel, so please go subscribe if you have not done so. Big pharmaceutical selling quack. Oops.
You got number 2?
No, number 2. Since the pandemic started, my husband just stands there sadly looking through the window. I should probably go let him inside. We're getting pandemic jokes tonight. What have we come to? What have we come to? Oh my gosh. All right. We're waiting for number 3. Waiting for number 3. I think there's a new Zicky Dice pay-per-view. Oh, we'll watch for it if he does it and we're not doing anything. We'll definitely do that. What else was going on? Somebody put a post up on Facebook that I really loved. I had to copy it and I threw it in my Twitter and stuff like that. It was about the number 1 movie in the. Oh, here's number 3. I was shocked when I found out my toaster was not waterproof. That's good. That was a good one. But yeah, so Top Gun is the number 1 movie in the country. A single by Kate Bush called Running Up That Hill is the number 1 downloaded song. And we're in a proxy war with Russia. And then someone said, what, did we just transfer back to 1986 to relive it all over again? And I'm like, yes, that's awesome. I would love to go back to 1986. Number 4. The guy who stole my diary just died. My thoughts are with his family. That was good.
That's good.
That was good.
That's good.
That brought out Mr. K9. Says, holy moly, Callan. That was a good one. The last 2 were good. The last 2 were good. The last 2 were very good. We're going to start thinking up some things that we can come up with. We did that one classic pay-per-view watch along, so we may be looking into more of that here and there. So some stuff coming up down the road that we might like to do. We might, we've got to give some love to our Twitch channel every now and then too. So we might go and maybe do a top 10 out of the blue, because those are fun too. Might head over to, we'll do, of course it would stream on YouTube as well, but we might go over to, maybe go over to Twitch and do a top 10 at some point too. They're fun to do. It's funny that song is number 1 because I love her version, but I know another version by a male artist that I've known for years. Running Up That Hill. I thought she wrote that, Jesse, unless I'm wrong, but Kate Bush, I'm pretty sure she wrote that. Oh, what? Did Prince write it? Oh, damn, I didn't know that. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that, bonus baby. All right. That's awesome. I always liked the song. It's kind of creepy, and I think the fact that they used it for Stranger Things was pretty cool because it kind of fit. So, all right, we're waiting on number 5, so we can get Jeff to go and lay down. Number 5. I started crying when Dad was cutting onions. Onions was such a good dog. Oh.
Oh man.
Now we just went right from the funny to the dark. We're into the dark. I would cook, but Gordon Ramsay keeps watching me from the window. It says Unbroken. Oh my gosh. All right. Waiting on number 6. What kind of exercise do lazy people do? Diddly squats. Okay. All right. All right. What do you get when you cross storm clouds with the big dog? Roman Reigns. Clever. Very, very clever, Alicia. Very
I like
clever.
that.
Very clever. Little wrestling jokes in there. All right. All right. All right. Waiting on number 6. Number 6. Did you watch Stranger Things yet?
I've got to finish the last 2. I haven't finished the last 2.
Oh, wait till you do that last episode. Oh my God. I was literally on the edge of my seat for the last 40 minutes. So good. So good. So good. If I only could, I'd make a deal with that again to swap our places. I just heard hers for the first time. Wow. But the one I heard first was like 10 or 15 years ago. I love my sister always loved that song. I loved it too. I love her voice. She's a very unique voice, Kate Bush does. But yeah, it was just a brilliant. You know what sucks? They put the soundtrack album out for it, and it's not even allowed to be on it. They couldn't put it on there on iTunes because of a regional thing. It's locked up with regional rights or something, and it's I think I think it was from Europe that stopped it, but something stopped it from being on the album, which sucks because it's literally like the most important song of the album. All right, waiting on 6, Jesse. Waiting on 6, so we can get Jeff some pain meds. Where's number 6?
What do you get when you? Oh gosh.
What do you get when you cross Ziggler and Ziggy Dice? I wonder.
Oh boy.
May not want to see that. Where's number 6, Jesse? Where's number 6?
Man, so yeah, as soon as we find out about Abby's, we'll let everyone know.
Yeah. Just check out our Twitter. As soon as Jody gets word back, then we will get the word out to you for tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
we'll
let
get
you know what
it
we're doing.
out.
Here we go. Why is there air conditioning in hospitals? To keep the vegetables cool and fresh.
Oh.
Donovan released by WWE. Yep. Yeah, we heard. That's a weird day to release on a Sunday.
On a Sunday. Weird. That is weird.
A little weird. Ziggler Dice.
Ziggler Dice.
Ziggler Dice. Oh, Jeff, I got that game that I talked to you about, the Quarry.
Yeah, how is it?
Oh, it's so good. You know what? I like games like that. There's not a whole lot of action in. So somebody who likes action in a video game, you're not probably gonna like it. But it's very Heavy Rain-esque, and you have to make decisions. But man, do they not give you time? If you're not paying attention, the decision line goes bloop and it's gone. So you've got to make like split decision stuff to get through it. I love it though. I love the atmosphere of it. It's really cool. All right, here we go. Number 7. My daughter asked me how stars die. Usually an overdose, I told her. We ended on a very dark note. Yes, very dark note. I don't think any of us remembered, Jesse. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Well, Jeff is in some pain, so we got to let him go and take some pain meds. Hey, listen, thank you all for being a part of our show tonight. We really, really appreciate it. Thanks for shouting out your favorites and the debate stuff and all that kind of stuff. We had a great time. Again, like Jeff said early in the show, it's always great to come back to this. This is kind of where we started, and it's always great to have this when we can. James Grant said, had fun. Well, that's why we're here.
Mhm.
All right, so that's it. Tomorrow night we'll let you know about Abby's. I'll put it up on Twitter. So if we're having it, of course, it'll be 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, we have Impact on Thursday, and then we have after the Impact, which we'll do our Slammiversary predictions. Then we're right back here next Sunday for Slammiversary itself. So that is all, guys. So from Jeff and from myself, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had a good time. Make sure that you sub to the channel if you didn't already. Get us up to that 2,900 mark. Hopefully, maybe with these pay-per-views coming up, we can get to 3K and get Tazzy up to 1,000 on his channel. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do so. Also, make sure you hit the like on the stream for us tonight, as it helps with all those funky little algorithms in YouTube. And if you would care to share the video with someone as well. And don't forget to hit that notifications button to know when we have future content. All right, guys, we will talk to you all on, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. We'll let you know. But otherwise, we'll talk to you on Thursday for Impact Wrestling. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Please stay safe. Be kind to one another. And we'll talk to you all on our next show. Have a great night, guys. Take care.